Yes, ma'am.
How are you, Matt?
I'm doing just fine. How are you?
Miss Anna told me to go to the water department.
Okay.
Hi, darling. I'm good. Good. Nope, not how's your family?
Well, they're all doing pretty good. Keep asking me if there's any great news. And any bad news. My life is changing a lot. Relocate her life, so she'll be director of nursing here in town. Today, blocked away from the house, so that's going to be nice. She could call me and tell me to bring her lunch. Then have it cooked. I know. Gotta take care of her.
This is my first time here, and I'm supposed to present this beautification program. Do I stand there? Or say we speak from here?
I think they'll probably want you to speak from there, that way the microphone will pick you up.
You want my address?
No, I can do.
Call the meeting to order. Was it Kenneth Hasley's, give the invocation, please?
I'd like to read one little scripture and everything before I pray. It says in Romans 13:1, Paul says, "Let everyone be subject to the covering of authorities, for there is no authority except that which God has established. The authorities that exist have been established by God." Let us pray. Heavenly Father, Lord, we love you and we thank you for everything that you are doing here tonight. Lord, we thank you for everyone represented that is representing their own district, Lord. And I just pray that you just bless each and every single person here to govern and well. Lord, in the name of Jesus, that there was a great speaker said one time that unless we govern with grace, we are governed by tyrants. Lord, I just pray that they would have wisdom and guidance in making decisions, Lord, and that everything be done through the mercy of their hearts, Lord. And Lord, I just thank you for it in Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
Amen. Now pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Roll call, please. Oh,
Mayor,
here.
Stewart here. Wendell Walker.
Here.
Stephen Holt.
Here.
Stan Moran.
Here.
Sean Simpson. Wendell Moore. Raymond Hatton.
Here.
Jim Ed Ransom.
Here.
And Coy Butler.
Here.
All right, Mayor, we do have a quorum.
All right. Everyone had a chance to read over previous minutes.
Yes, sir. I'll make a motion to accept.
Motion from Jim Ed to accept minutes from previous meetings, seconded by Raymond. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Now, Mr. Jeff Lingo, public comment.
I would like to thank the council for the opportunity of coming up here today, especially the mayor. I'm glad to see you sitting there.
Thank you,
Last
sir.
one that was sitting there, I
Well,
didn't think too highly of it, but
well,
I think you're a good guy.
I hope I can keep people happy.
It's a hard chore, I'm sure.
Yes, sir.
I want to talk tonight basically on three things. The code inspection process, the sidewalk issues that are unresolved, and the lack of project follow-up and completion. I was given a letter by the code enforcement on the 9th of September 21 concerning the pile of rubbish I had outside a house I was working on 313 Lincoln Street. I read over the code, all 117 pages of it, and yes, I was in violation. So I asked the code inspector, Mr. Gosden, to come down and talk with me. I asked for a 90-day extension. He couldn't grant that to me. He could only grant me a 30-day extension. But that not getting 90 days cost me $100 because I had to get a dumpster and keep it longer than what I thought I was going to need it. And that upset me, to say the least. So my question is, the next slide, please. As I drive through town, I see examples of what I was code given a letter for, and they're still there as of today. So my question is, what's the SOP for issuing the letter? I want it to be consistent practices. I don't wanna be special. The old mayor's sign in the yard make a difference? No. Seems that way to me. I had, this code violation, when Mr. Godden come down and talk to me. Next slide, please. When you come down and talk to me, after reading the 117-page code document, I pointed out to him that vehicles in the back of yards is a code violation. Grass being above 8 inches is a code violation. Trash and rubbish left out by trailers is a code violation. He didn't see that. All he saw was the truck at the time. But by show of hands, how many people want to walk out their back door, their front door, and see that? I don't think nobody does. I know I get tired of it, and I've been looking at that truck for 3 years. So, that's about all I have to say about the code issues. We got codes, they're supposed to be enforced. I wanna make sure this is done across the board. No ifs, ands, or buts. No matter who you are, where you are, who you're related to, it doesn't matter to me. We ought to have them and enforce them. Next slide, please. The drainage issue on the sidewalks is pitiful at the best. I'll come here in March of 2020 with 6 or 7 ideas to help the drainage. Nothing but one of them got done, which was a city responsibility anyway. So what has happened is they got in such a hurry to install that sidewalk, they made a dam where the water can't flow into the ditches like they used to. And anybody that's got pier and beam houses, what's your worst enemy? Water under your house. So I asked for drains to be cut. You can see that green arrow on the bottom where my truck is. I asked for one to be cut there. What they do, they went to the far end and cut a drain. I asked for another one to be on the south side of my driveway. They went to the far end and cut one there. So now that ditch there that you see, I've got to dig that ditch all the way around to the drain. And if something happens and clogs it up, guess where the water's going? Right back under my house. Now that house has new siding, new windows. I'm fixing to paint it. I'm gonna put gutters on it, but it's not gonna do me any good. Where's the water gonna go? So it was told to me by a gentleman named Brad working with Bonds Engineering that they would take care of my issues before the contractor got paid. And that was 2 years ago. I've been waiting. And I want to come back and talk to the man that was in that chair before he got out of here, but time didn't permit, because he promised the same thing. Again, I just want it fixed to where I'm not throwing good money after bad. Doesn't make any sense. That whole end of town needs to be cleaned up. A gentleman right next to me fixed up a nice piece of property. That one's gonna look nice when I get through with it, but you can't have that without drainage, and it's not gonna work. Next slide, please. When we're doing the sidewalks, this fresh dirt, and this is an address about a block from my house on 313. They put tile in, they graded it, looks great. I asked the mayor, matter of fact, he told me on about March of 2020, Public Works Department is lowering the ditches off Lincoln Street and replacing culverts on grade. That's the only place they did it. Now, I don't know if that's somebody's relative. I don't know what it is, but it should have went all the way down. And if you see that next slide there where the water is, you see how far that pole is over it. They had to slant that sidewalk and come over more on the property. What is the city easement for utilities? Anybody know?
It varies throughout the city.
It's mostly
varies.
60 feet, be 30 feet from the center.
It varies in different subdivisions.
I was told it's 25 feet by different people. That's way over 25 feet.
Yeah, most of the time it's 30.
It varies throughout the city.
The reason that it's over that far, they didn't want to take the time to fill in them ditches and move that power pole and do it the right way. They wanted to run it as quickly as they could. I don't know if bond money was running out. That ain't my job. I just know I've got a mess to live with. And anytime it rained, that was a huge rain I took the picture of there. That water's 3 foot deep in that ditch. Next slide, please. You can see right there where that red area is, that's a culvert. On the other side is 3 foot down, nothing in there. What would that tell you? Culvert stopped up, right? Next slide, please. So I got out on my hands and knees and took pictures, and that's what was in that culvert. That's the only thing that I suggested that the city fix last time. The only thing. And that was their responsibility. This picture on the far right is the culvert as of March 2023. Still stopped up. I have to go out there and clean it out as best I can. He lied to me sitting there in that chair, the last mayor, and said, we have an inspection process, we'll come by and we'll take care of it. There ain't been nobody down there. It stays stopped up. And that culvert drains 2.5 blocks. If it gets stopped up, guess where the water's going? Over the sidewalk and under the houses. Next slide, please. This one here is on lack of project completion. Last year, I think it was, or maybe, time flies, maybe a year and a half. We put a new sewer system in the alleyways on between Lincoln and Washington Street. Everybody remember that? Well, this is all the junk left in the alleyway that I gotta try to mow over. And I told them when they were doing it, okay, fine, we need it, but just clean up your mess. To me, that ain't cleaning up your mess. And what was funny, I texted Mr. Kelly, Jim Kelly. I said, Jim, they're not, this is not gonna work. He said, well, don't complain until they get through. Well, you see what's left. Now, Reed's gone, Kelly's gone. Guess who's left holding the bag? Me. And I got better things to do than get out there and pick up after somebody. Next slide, please. So these 8 questions, I'm sure that did you get these in your packet?
Yes, sir.
Maybe you've had time to answer, maybe you haven't. But if not, I'll accept a meeting from the mayor and whoever he wants to call, because I trust him, he'll take care of it. If not, I'll be back here next month to find out what the answers are. Now again, this goes totally against my nature. I hate public speaking. I hate coming up here. As you see, I haven't been here since March of 2020. But I will not stand for that property to be destroyed because we didn't do the right thing. And that's all it boils down to. If I have to take it to the next level, I will. That's not a threat, that's a promise. Because I've sank around $40,000 in that house, and I'm not gonna throw good money after bad. And Lone Oak needs good quality rental property. I have people asking me, when's it gonna be ready? Now, and I'm not through with it. So I ask for your help, I ask for clarification on these questions, and I'll leave it up to you to where we answer it now, or you wanna set up a meeting later.
I can be down. Are you gonna be in town tomorrow?
I'll be there right at that house.
I'll be down there tomorrow.
All right.
We'll get you.
Well, I appreciate your time. Thank
Yes,
you very
sir.
much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Woodrow.
I won't go ahead and leave, no offense. I got a 70-mile drive, so I'm gonna head back.
Thank you.
Good to see y'all.
All right. Now, the beautification team report, Miss Anna McClung.
I'm not Anna
Oh,
McClung,
okay.
but I'd like
Oh,
to
you
give
got
y'all-
appointed to do that.
Good feeling. Yeah. Okay, my name is Sharon Clark. How are you? And I live at 108 Sunflower Drive, right here in Lone Oak, and I have for many years. This is my first time here, so I'm happy to see y'all. How are you, Wendell?
I'm doing fine. We're
Thank
glad
you.
to have you.
I know I'm limited on time. Who is my slide person?
I think it's me.
Okay. She just said
Best as I
there'll be
can.
someone there. And I said, fine. Now, usually Miss Andrea Schaefer will be delivering these reports, but she's asked me to do it tonight, so I am. This is your downtown beautification. And before I forget, I want to thank all of y'all so much for going ahead and giving us monies to purchase these plants. They are so expensive. I don't mind giving my time, but I don't have the money. I can't give y'all all these flowers. They cost a lot.
Sure do.
I want to thank you for that. Anna's not here. I was going to embarrass her and thank her for that. All she's done for the community. She's leaving. She's going to be close to her daughter.
Okay.
So, y'all will have to deal with some of us less professional people. Could I have the next slide, please? Does she read this off, or do y'all read it for yourselves?
No, she normally reads them all.
She, okay. This is our second quarter storefront award, and first place came in Tricia's. We're thrilled to have that business. It looks marvelous. 109 Southwest Front Street, and that's Melissa Poole and Shannon Newkirk. And second place was Emily's Flowers and Gifts, and it's always decorated nice. 113 East 2nd, Lindsay Carpenter and Melody Hill. Now these are quarterly. We have Yard of the Month, and then the businesses get the quarters. Okay, Southwest area, Miss Pauletta Perryman, number 5 Linwood Rose, won again, but it is always outstanding. Southeast area is Brad and Nina Shelton, number 5 Richwood Cove. Yard of the Month for the Northwest area was Jeanette and Matt Bowles, number 70 McGee, and it's lovely. Northeast section was Ron and Jamie Anderson, 515 Ketchum. Next, yeah. Thanks to the city for supporting these activities, and to Building Bridges for helping with watering our city planter pots. And that they have a special place in my heart, and I'm sure they do for all of y'all. And that's about all I have to say. We did add plants to the sculpture in the plaza.
Okay.
And the Chamber of Commerce sign has been done.
Good.
Is there anything else that we need to take on, or you think could be improved? Anything that y'all want us to start doing or stop doing?
No, not that I can think of. If
This
something
is
comes
your
up,
opportunity.
if something comes up, I'll chase you down.
Thank y'all.
Thank you for coming.
Good to see you.
Me too.
Now, the Lonoke County Library, Kathleen Ashmore. How are you tonight?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you all?
Oh, great,
Fine.
great.
Good. The Lonoke Library is doing well. We got our Q1 numbers in, and our people count, the number of people who came and visited us, is 27% up from last Q1 of 2022. We have added 176 new borrowers.
Wow.
And we have added an outreach. We are now going out to the preschool once a week, I believe. And our computer usage is up by 9% from last year, but the one I find quite interesting is our Wi-Fi is up by almost 40%, which shows us that we're getting a lot of people. We're getting a lot more people with access to devices, just not internet. So that's a good step in the right direction for your community.
Wow.
For programs, we had 3 less programs in Q1 of 23 than we did in 22. However, the attendance for the first quarter of 23 was up by 69%. So we're getting a lot of people coming back to the library. The timing of it is really good. Our summer reading program starts in June. The kickoff is June 1st. It's at 11 o'clock. I invite everybody here, come see us. And with that, I will entertain any questions.
Anybody got any questions? Guess not.
I don't think you.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear we're getting more people involved, so
Yes,
I'm proud. Thank you for coming.
absolutely, thank you.
Now, Parks and Mosquito Director Evan Jacobs.
Skip the treasurer's report.
Oh, well, in case y'all didn't know, our treasurer is resigning. With the job he's got in Little Rock, he said he just didn't have time to. He tried it for a while, but he said he just couldn't make things work out. So he thought it was best that he stepped down. So, just so you know. I guess, is there any question on the,
Mayor, I had a couple of questions
okay.
on the ESCO lease purchase. I got my line right. So, is that it for the year, or are we gonna owe them more?
No, there's a little bit of funds left in there, and they'll apply that to our debt, and that account will be closed.
Okay. Alright. And
I
then,
sent a letter to the trustee.
and then on those, on the Series 2018 fund,
Mhm.
that looks wonky.
We've almost spent it all, except for the $40-something thousand that's left, and we will end up owing 46 of that
So that's why,
for retainage. That's what we've got left. And then whatever's left, they'll apply the debt as well. And that account will be closed. We're talking about the project fund. Yeah. Yeah, it's supposed to look wonky because we gotta spend it all. It just looks bad.
Any other questions? Yeah.
We just need to,
Any motion on the first quarter?
Motion.
second.
Oh,
I had
you
one
got
other
another
question.
Okay.
At first year, when we were talking about budgeting, we were still waiting for a water report on our water rate increase possibly, are we gonna just,
Well,
do we know where we are on that, or is that something we're still gonna just kinda lay flat on, or?
I believe I can add to that, was, right now, we'll have to do it after, what, maybe next month, month after? Cause we've been checking all our hydrants, checking pressures. We've had to empty and refill the, water tower over by Melton Addition. We've had a lot of things that throws all our numbers off here lately, so we're gonna have to wait till we get straightened out. Then before we can do an honest water rate study.
I thought we had already sent all the stuff out for a water rate study last year,
Oh, no,
or further than that,
I don't know.
that we were waiting on, that we thought we would get by the first of this year.
we sent everything in, then we got a phone call that said, it's gotta be a true calendar year, we can't use what you gave us, which we didn't know that at the time. So, we put that in, and then,
Pursued it.
well,
So, you know,
and
so
right
it's not
now,
done.
we've gotten shoved to the back, because everybody that has to have a water rate study to apply for grant money got shoved in front of us.
So I haven't been calling, asking how close to the front are we at this?
Because right now, whatever year it is, and I don't know.
25 or 26?
Yeah, we don't have to have one till a certain date, and anybody applying for federal funds has to have one, so they all got moved in front of us.
But we will have one soon. I'll keep y'all informed on kind of when that.
The water auditors were talking about that the other day, about all these towns that are having to get them because they've applied for grant money and they can't get it until they have their rate study done.
We got a motion from Jim Ed to accept the first quarter. And who seconded? Raymond seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Now, Parks and Mosquito.
Good evening, everybody. Just give you guys a quick report as to what's going on out here. We've got baseball and softball are going strong right now. We are having a league team tournament on May the 20th, and then we'll be starting up our summer all-star tournaments starting June 3rd, and they'll be every weekend in the month of June. Right now, I'm working on I'm just now getting we've got a new full-time employee hired. He's working out really well right now. He's allowed me to actually be able to sit down and be in the office and start to work on some things, like for instance, Pops on the Prairie, which has been ignored because I've been just trying to get through. But I promise I'll have a better update on that for next month, guys. And that is it for my report as to what's going on. The first thing to bring up for y'all is a quote to purchase some larvicide for the mosquito program. This quote comes in at $38,099.19. This is a quote from Clark, which is who we buy all of our mosquito chemical from. This is the lowest price that you can get in the state because all of the chemical providers buy from the same company, and that company requires them to sell it at this retail price to us. And that is all I got, and I appreciate a good vote on this. Any questions for me?
So we need a motion.
I make a motion to purchase.
Motion to purchase a chemical by Wendell for $38,099.19.
Second.
Second by Jim Ed. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
All right, thank y'all. I'll call our chemical rep in the morning and we'll get this ordered. Second on the agenda is this is a request to amend the budget in mosquito to add an employee. This employee is Greg Lingo. He was previously the head of mosquito control for us, and he recently left right before Roydon left, and then it was just me. And I do not have the licensing to purchase or mix the chemicals that we need for mosquito. You'll see that there's a difference. You can see the resolution in your council packet that details everything. I think that Greg is the best person for the job that we've called around that's willing to take the position. It's going to be a max of 20 hours a week at $17 an hour. He'll start on May 22nd, 2023, and I've listed the end date for the position as October 31st, just because we all know that around here, if you get that late rain and it stays hot, we could have mosquitoes on Halloween, you know? So, and Greg would be in charge of managing the mosquito drivers, making sure the chemicals mix, larvicide applications, scheduling claims, and any other kind of purchases and maintenance that would be required for the mosquito side of things. And that would allow me, free me up to be able to just focus on the ballpark and everything going on out there. Do we have any questions?
I know when we had to do this, the position used to be $15 an hour, but we're having to pay $17. But it's hard to find somebody with chemical license and all to, especially to go out at night and.
Have we looked into school for Evan?
Yes, sir. I would be looking into that myself. I just don't have enough
This
time to
year,
make it
we
happen.
just
I
This year.
understand. I mean, I know how that class works. It's just once a year when it hits and misses. I understand that.
Yes, sir. So for next year,
I've been to it.
Next year I will be trying to get that application well before this. However, just for this year, I just can't get it in town.
So I need a motion to put resolution 522023 on the floor.
So moved.
Coy made a motion to put resolution number 522023.
Second.
Seconded by Stan. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Resolution 5-2-2023, a resolution amending Resolution 1-1-2023 of the City of Lone Oak, Arkansas, amending the operating budget for the period of January 1st, 2023 and ending December 31st, 2023, and for other purposes. Whereas the City Treasurer respectfully requests that this governing body accept the proposed budget amendments to Resolution 1-1-2023, the 2023 operating budget, attached hereto is Exhibit A, B, and C, and incorporated herein by this reference. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of Lone Oak, Arkansas. Section 1, the mosquito control budget approved for $208,459 is hereby amended to $212,646. This resolution is to increase funds for a licensed applicator to mix chemicals and spray larvicide. Revenue increase 1 cent city sales tax. Original budget amount was $143,235. Amended is $150,422 for a difference of $7,187. Expense increased salaries. Original budget was $11,500. Amended budget is $18,000, and the difference is $6,500. Expense increased Social Security. Original budget $900. Amended $1,380, and difference $480. Increase unemployment. Original budget was $110. Amended budget is $180, and difference is $70. Increase workers' compensation. Original $652. Amended $789, and the difference of $137. Section 2, the mosquito control 1 cent budget approved for $265,667.36 is hereby amended to $265,667.36. This resolution is to increase the amount being transferred to the general fund mosquito control budget. Is that the correct number?
That's correct. It's an offset line item. So the actual amount of the budget didn't change, but the line items, how the budget's split out did change.
Okay, thank you. Expense increase mosquito control, original $143,235, amended $150,422, difference $7,187. Decrease revenues reserves $122,432.36, original budget. Amended budget $115,245.36, with a difference of negative $7,187. Section 3, it's necessary for the continued operation of municipal government that the mosquito control and mosquito 1 cent budgets approved by Resolution 1-1-2023 be amended to reflect the changes presented in Exhibit A, B, and C as attached.
Need a motion to accept. Make a motion to accept from Stephen.
Second.
Second by Coy. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carried.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you, sir.
And Mayor, if it's okay, if I may be excused, get back out to the ballpark.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Community Center, Mr. Mike Brown.
Good evening. For the past 3 or 4 months, the meetings, I've been telling you on a member, we've been getting close to 940 to 1,000, and baseball hit, and we took a hit. So I guess once baseball calms down and mosquitoes come out, we'll start raising it up again. No special month. We did have a loss, but that was mostly due to the bond payment we made to ESCO. So events we've got going on, Baptist Health, they'll be here on the 31st for health checks 9/11. Our member of the month is Brandon Stivers. We're gonna be closed for Mother's Day, and on the 19th of May, we have over, I think, 24 vendors. We're having a senior citizen health fair. And on the 24th of this month, we're having a blood drive. Also, first couple of weeks in June, we're gonna have basketball camps, swim lessons, and I think we've got a lady that's doing some projects with special needs kids also. Don't have the date on that yet, but that's upcoming. And no action items, and that's all I've got for the month.
Anybody got any questions for Mike? No. I guess. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Community Development, Director Jeremy Gosman.
Everybody, monthly reports are there. We'll take those. If you have any questions on those, I'll be happy to answer them. I've got quite a few things for Jimmy to read, so I'm gonna kind of jump to that unless there are any questions.
questions on what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Any questions on my monthly reports as far as code enforcement, animal control, and planning? We did have an open house during city cleanup for animal control. We had no dogs adopted. We got some folks to look at some dogs, and we did have several get adopted or rescued this month, so that went pretty successful. At least I'll call it that.
Well, if I was gonna adopt a dog, I would probably walk away from our dog shelter if I walked up to it.
Okay.
That is the nastiest looking place I've seen in our city. I
Okay.
went out there the other day and it was nasty. All around the building's nasty. And why is the door locked during business hours?
If we only have one animal control officer,
There's two
If he's
people that
out.
work in that building.
if he's not there either, then,
But when he's there, I know he's there. And if they don't come to the door when I knock on the door, that's a problem for the public.
I'll discuss that with him and make sure that we keep it open. At the very least, come to the door if it's not.
Yeah, I mean, if the door's knocked and you're sitting in your office, you need to come answer the door.
Okay, I can handle that. Any others? Okay, with that, I will go ordinance 812, which is an amendment to the Lone Oak Development Code. Basically what I'm looking at here is to make any, new construction to require that drives are asphalt or concrete, so you cannot do asphalt drives if you're new construction, and then if you have any existing drive, if you alter it in any way, then it also needs to go up to asphalt or concrete. I just feel that the gravel drives are a maintenance issue on our roads when the gravel gets in it, and then also it's a mowing maintenance issue as well, just for individuals.
How was the previous code on that?
The previous code, you could put in an asphalt, if you built a new home, you could do an asphalt drive. We did residential, single-family duplexes, and the mobile homes could have asphalt drives. Commercial was the only thing that was required to have concrete, I said asphalt on that, gravel drives. Residences could have gravel drives. Commercial was the only thing that was required to have asphalt or concrete. So I'm going to change that to where all new drives have to be concrete or asphalt.
I don't know the history of it, but I know that the city of North Little Rock had adopted a similar ordinance.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they had, along with some compliance issues, also just some practicality issues that made them change back that ordinance several years ago. Now, they may have changed it some other way now, but.
Okay.
Well,
I feel like we need to table this right here until we can discuss it, all of us discuss it and come down with it.
because some of it's kind of, and I think we need to address some of the code stuff dealing with the older parts of town to try to impose new codes. And same with it, where we've got flooding problems, the last thing I want to do is cover up more ground. You know, I think we need to look at this closer, maybe a case by case. I don't know what would be best to.
What precipitated this ordinance change?
Personally, I pushed for it. I just looked at it as gravel drives are a maintenance issue. When the gravel gets into the roads, cars rode over it, then we get divots in the roads, and then people are complaining about potholes and those kind of things. And then when it comes to mowing, people don't mow around them, and it gets spread out more. Then they don't weed around them, and you get grass growing in it. It's just a maintenance issue. I look at it as something as a smart way to do it is just not allow it.
I mean, it's not a bad idea at all, but I mean, cultivating communities, we're a farm town. There's a lot of people want to update their driveway in our town that.
I know over half the older parts of towns all got
And
gravel
I'm not
drives.
asking for existing drives to be changed. If you leave them alone, then they're fine. If you add to them and even if you have to do some maintenance on that drive, that's fine.
Mhm.
But if you are altering as in you're gonna add to the drive or put another parking spot, then you have to bring it up to code. Or if you're doing any new house, and I really wanna push it on new houses, I don't want anybody to build a new house and, cause it does happen on occasion where someone will build a new house and say, I'm putting the gravel drives down because I'm gonna put asphalt later.
Right.
10 years later, they still have a gravel drive. And so,
Is
that's just kinda
the,
the way I look at it.
is the driveway, is it just to like the front of the house or to the garage? I mean, what if I was wanting to put a drive back to, you know, my shed in the backyard or something like that? Is that acceptable, or does it have to be concrete all the way to the back shop?
Technically, under the way I have it written, it would be all of it. But I mean, I can, if we want to make provisions as far as in your backyard or pasture drive or something like that, I can alter it to make that a little bit different.
I'm gonna make a motion to table it till we got further discussion on it.
I'll second that.
Motion Wendell to table it, second by Coy, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carried. All right.
Okay, the next would be ordinance number 13. This is an ordinance to do a rezoning of the area around Mallard Point. Technically, it's where the golf course is. It's technically, or it's not technically, it is currently zoned as I-1. And we were rezoning that just to more protect the folks around that, especially with the other side of Mallard Point Drive that has all the industrial area, just to rezone all that golf course area to R1 to just more or less just make sure that it's not zoned industrial for any reason.
Do I understand that would include that highway frontage too?
No, it does not include the highway frontage. Some of that highway frontage already is R1, some of it is business, which just the portion that's behind that is around the golf course.
I was thinking it was commercial at one
Yeah.
time.
There's the map that I had included in there.
Yeah. It's just hard for me to quite make that out color distinction wise.
Nothing changed from this line forward, it's all the same, that was all wrong, that was, commercial with that C2. This was all industrial, and we're changing all of that. R1. What are we looking at here?
So,
All the
That's
golf
a
course.
flag, it was already zoned as that, this was,
clubhouse.
the clubhouse, it was already business. This whole area was gray, which was industrial, just like this area is. Change that so that there'd be no flow over.
Does that just go to
Basically,
the
it's
front
just,
nine or the back nine? That's all of it.
All
That's
way
the
to
back nine.
All the way to Mallard Point.
it's basically everywhere the golf course was.
Yes, basically all over. Yeah. What is that,
That's commercial.
commercial? Oh, okay.
Everything else got zoned.
They're across from MSI.
And it's all standard,
I've got a color version of it if you wanna see
part of
it.
that is R1 and part of that's commercial.
Coy,
Do I?
here's the color version if you wanted to see it. Basically, there's the golf course and then the red remains, central business district, but then now it all becomes R1 along with it.
All the way to the highway frontage?
Mm-hmm. Except for that central business district part there in the side, or the south, I mean. Y'all know. We're talking about
And
right here.
was this done just as a request from the people that live out there at
This
Mallard?
was a request that came up probably 8 or 9 months ago. We were talking about this whole development area.
Mhm.
Somebody requested that we protect the area around the golf course and turn it into residential so it wasn't industrial. And so we were just following through on that.
What does the current owner say about it?
No objection. Their only objection was that would that stop it from ever being a golf course again if they wanted it to be. And actually the R1 is technically easier to go to back to a golf course than the industrial was.
I guess my other question would be, I kind of don't mind keeping that all residential, but, you know, there'd be no plan for any multifamily residential out back there if it's R1
It would
only?
require any developer to come forward and
I
try to
think that's gonna
rezone
make
again.
it, it's gonna limit us, I think, in the future.
Well, this
If-
area right here is already, it's ready for a it's got,
I know, but
Townhouse.
it's not gonna, it won't,
Right.
that won't be applicable anymore. We just don't, we don't have much space in the city already to do multifamily.
If any developer bought any section of that land, then they would be able to come forward and ask to have it rezoned.
Right, I see that, but that's just another obstacle for developers to have to overcome.
Well, if it was industrial, they'd have to do the same anyway.
I know, but if we designated it where it could be
Gotcha.
R1 or R2, then,
multifamily out there when I
then they
think
wouldn't have to do that.
Right.
Even if we did
$800,000 for a
R2
house.
towards the back of back nine,
Mm-hmm.
that's just another obstacle
Mm-hmm.
for development.
Honestly, my biggest concern was whether the landowner was okay with it, because I wouldn't want this to be perceived as some sort of kind of a condemnation or a takings or whatever by reducing what they could do with their property.
With their
But if the
property.
landowner's okay with it,
No
Is
objection.
it just the homeowners or the mass landowner out there?
well, what would be relevant would be the people who own, or the person who owns the rest of it, not necessarily the homeowners as
Exactly.
much as the people who own the person who owns the rest of it. And he's saying that they are in favor of it.
So like
Right.
Lucas or whoever represents Lucas now is all okay
They
with
have
it?
no objection to it.
Is there a motion?
Any other discussion? I need a motion to put this on the floor, number 813.
I make that motion.
Motion, Raymond, put 813 on the floor.
I'll take it.
Second by Wendell, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Ordinance number 8, well, we'd get to do the second and third readings as well. Ordinance number 813, ordinance amending the City of Lone Oak zoning ordinance and map to rezone the north half of Section 24, Township 2 North, Range 9 West, minus 1,175.0 feet along the Highway 89 right-of-way, less than accept parcel number 781-95503-002 and parcel number 781-95502-000, and lots 1 through 17B, Block 1, and lots 1 and 54 through 91, Block 2 of Phase 1 of Mallard Point Estates from I-1 industrial to R1 low-density residential. Whereas a change in zoning classification was initiated by the Lone Oak Planning Commission according to the requirements of the Unified Development Code. Whereas the City of Lone Oak Planning Commission held a duly noticed public hearing on February 20th, 2023 in accordance with Arkansas Code annotated section 12-56-422 to consider staff recommendations, receive public comments, and deliberate regarding its recommendation to the City Council. Whereas the City of Lone Oak Planning Commission, following the public hearing, voted unanimously to approve the change as part of the city's adopted zoning ordinance and map and forwarded a recommendation to the City Council to approve the proposed zoning ordinance and map amendment in compliance with the aforementioned statute. Whereas the City of Lone Oak Planning Commission further approved an amendment to the city's land plan to reflect consistency with the change in use, referring the same to this body for approval. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of Lone Oak, Arkansas, that the City Council of the City of Lone Oak does hereby amend the Lone Oak zoning ordinance and map for the north half of Section 24, Township 2 North, Range 9 West, minus 1,175.0 feet along the Highway 89 right-of-way, and legally described as commencing at the northeast corner of the said Section 24, thence north 89 degrees 00 minutes 55 seconds west along the north line of Section 24, a distance of 1,175 feet to the point of beginning, thence south 00 degrees 6 minutes 29 seconds east, a distance of 2,659.4 feet, thence south 89 degrees 37 minutes 17 seconds west, a distance of 4,213.7 feet to the west line of Section 24, thence north along said west line, a distance of 2,759.5 feet to the northwest corner of said Section 24, thence south 89 degrees 00 minutes 55 seconds east along the north line of said Section 24, a distance of 4,209.3 feet to the point of beginning, containing 261.9 acres of land, less than accept parcel number 781-95503-002 and parcel number 781-95502-000 and lots 1 through 17B, Block 1, and lots 1 and 54 through 91, Block 2 of Phase 1 of Mallard Point Estates from I-1 industrial to R1 low-density residential as shown in Exhibit A attached here to and incorporated herein by reference.
Can I ask one question before we vote on that, Mayor? Was that posted out there or anything like that?
Yes, it was.
Thank you.
I need a motion to accept first reading.
Make a motion.
Motion to accept first reading by Stephen.
Second.
Second by Stan. All in favor say aye. Aye. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Coy was opposed.
The first reading.
Motion to suspend the rules, second and third reading, title only. Motion Stephen, second and third reading, title only.
I'll take it.
Second by Wendell. All in favor say aye.
Ordinance,
Y'all don't have to speak up. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
ordinance,
Motion carried.
ordinance number 813, an ordinance amending the City of Lone Oak zoning ordinance and map to rezone the north half of Section 24 Township 2 North Range 9 West, minus 1,175.0 feet along the 89, Highway 89 right-of-way less than accept parcel number 781-95503-002 and parcel number 781-95502-000 and lots 1 through 17B, Block 1 and lots 1 and 51 through 91, Block 2 of Phase 1 of Mallard Point Estates from I-1 industrial to R1 low-density residential.
Yeah, need a motion to accept second, third reading.
I'll make the motion.
Stephen made a motion to accept second and third reading.
Second.
Second by Wendell. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Coy. Motion carried. Motion to adopt. Somebody.
Make the motion.
Motion to adopt by Wendell.
Second.
Second by Stephen. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Coy. Motion carried.
Okay, my last is a resolution, to ask the council for permission to put a lien on two properties that we, put on the condemnation list and demolished, into last year. We've sent bills to these people for these properties that haven't been paid, so now I'm just asking that we file it onto their property taxes and, do our best to get the city's money back.
Have we talked to these people and tried to get them to pay them?
Yes, we have. We send letters, we notify them all through the condemnation process of how that goes. They're well aware.
I make a motion that we continue with this action. I don't know exactly how you want that written or how you want that stated.
You just put motion for the resolution to be on the floor.
Motion to put this resolution.
Now, that's just for these two properties, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it will.
I'm sorry, I
Put
didn't have
them
that
right-
resolution on my packet.
512023.
I read it online, but I didn't see the.
It's maybe 2 pages up from that.
I ain't trying to be difficult, the only thing is that the two properties aren't listed on this.
It refers to them in Exhibit A, and then that page is Exhibit A.
I'm sorry, I didn't see that, Mr. Ender.
So,
And then he also included the bills on it, so you can see
Thank
how
you.
you came up with those numbers.
need a motion to put 512023 on the floor.
Motion, so moved.
Motion. Raymond. Second by Stan. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Resolution number 5-1-2023, a resolution creating, certifying, and confirming tax liens against real properties at various locations within the City of Lone Oak for funds expended to pay for services rendered due to code violations and for other purposes. Whereas due to violations of the City of Lone Oak's Code of Ordinances, the city has expended funds for services rendered and or performed by and or on behalf of the City of Lone Oak for certain work on real properties located within the city limits to remove/modify non-compliant conditions. A list of the relevant real properties is attached here to as Exhibit A. And whereas despite notice and demand, the property owners at issue have not paid the amounts due to the city for services rendered and or performed as detailed herein. And whereas pursuant to Arkansas law, tax liens may and should be created and certified for these real properties and record property owners listed in Exhibit A. Furthermore, the lien amounts should be certified for inclusion in the annual real estate tax statements prepared by the Lonoke County Treasurer's Office or other appropriate county office. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of Lonoke, Arkansas, that Part 1, in accordance with the authority granted under Arkansas Code Annotated 14-51-901 et sec, the Lonoke City Council hereby authorizes the mayor and or city clerk treasurer to certify the list of real properties and amounts due, plus 10% attached hereto to the Lonoke County Circuit Clerk's Office, Lonoke County Treasurer's Office, and any other appropriate office for inclusion as tax liens on the annual real property tax statements for 2023. A list of the relevant real properties is attached as Exhibit A and is hereby incorporated into this resolution by this reference. The real property and corresponding lien amounts listed therein are deemed confirmed for the purposes of Arkansas Code Annotated 14-54-903 and other relevant law. Part 2, in accordance with Arkansas Code Annotated 14-54-904, the liens authorized and confirmed herein by the Lonoke City Council may be enforced by the city for 10 years. The 10-year period of time commences upon the filing of the lien with the Lonoke County Circuit Clerk's Office.
Motion to accept resolution 512023. Raymond made a motion, second by Stephen. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carried.
That's all I have.
That's it. Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mayor, too, I'm gonna ask to be excused for law purposes.
Yeah. Okay, now we've got Fire Department, Chief Justin Wittenberg.
Good evening.
Good.
The first thing in your packet should be my monthly report from last month. We had a total of 33 calls. Any questions on that? Alright, the next thing in your packet is an action item. You should have 2 quotes from 2 vendors on a service agreement for the generator. Cummins sent me a, I believe, 4-year. And United Engines just out by one day, and I gave him another one, but he didn't really know about. They kind of separately gave me quotes, and this other one's for a 1-year. You add it all up, it's actually higher than the Cummins quote. So it's whatever you want to do. We can do a 4-year, we can do a 1-year. It just needs a service agreement on it because it is coming up on a 1.5 old, and the warranty for the first year is over, so we need a service agreement on it.
I make a motion to accept the Cummins bid at $4,754.83.
Second.
Motion Jim made to spend the $4,754.83. Seconded by Coy. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed. Motion carried.
Thank you, John. The other thing is it's time to order turnouts because it's going to take them for the end of the year to get here. This is the vendor we always go with because they carry the line of turnouts we wear. It is for 5 sets. They get a structural set and a wildland set to wear when it's hotter and grass fire so they don't get heat exhaustion, and 2 pair of boots to cover that, and that total is $24,440.
Make a motion that we purchase the turnouts from EBS for $24,440.
Motion Coy to purchase the turnout. All seconded by Raymond. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed. Motion carried.
Any other questions for the fire department?
No.
Alright.
Thank you,
sir.
Hope you feel better.
Almost there.
Keep it going.
Public Works, Water and Sewer Street, Director Thomas Stein. I seen Stivers on the community center a while ago. I thought that was you for a minute.
Yeah, that wasn't me. Somebody else, anybody else. I don't really have a whole lot tonight. I'll start with the water and wastewater side. We did have a pretty good leak at the end of Wright Street that we got fixed. We got the opportunity to come work on it on Saturdays. It grew on me. Thought I could make it till Monday, and then it didn't. So that's really, our I think a big contributor to our water loss. And I would love to tell you that's going to start coming down, but we, as the mayor was telling you, we're in the midst of our flushing program right now, trying to get all the blow offs and fire hydrants flushed in town. So somebody calls with, low pressure for a little bit, or maybe even, milky looking water for a little bit, that's just oxygen in the water line, completely safe, just, it's kinda weird to look at when you drink it out of a clear cup, but, so we're doing that, and probably, kinda like the mayor said, it's probably gonna be July before we get an accurate, June or July before we get an accurate water loss statement, then we'll try to get into pushing for the water rate study for you, so. That's really all I've got on the, and then we, like you said too, we got our jacuzzi tank, we had drained it down and got it washed out, so that's what I have on the water and wastewater side. Do y'all got any questions, complaints, concerns on it?
And I don't know, y'all probably don't know, they've been smoking our lines, new and old. And they found,
Our
how
sewer
many
lines,
so far?
16,
That been bored through or something. We was getting a lot of infiltration with stormwater. They was in bottoms of ditches. So you can imagine how much water we were getting.
That's right. So we have been doing that as well. If y'all don't have anything, I'll move to the street side. It's just been kind of crazy. With spring cleanup, we did fill 33 30-yard dumpsters with trash near spring cleanup. So we got through that. And then we've started weed eating. We've had anywhere from 2 to 5 weed eaters going every day for probably the last 2 weeks, picking up trash, just trying to do everything we can to keep the streets and sidewalks, and we're just gonna keep going, trying to make all that stuff look good. And really my only action item tonight, Wendell, you asked about getting that green leaf machine repaired, what a cost would be, and I finally got a true cost from River Valley Tractor, and that cost just on the mechanical side of it would be $11,899.26. All that to say that right now our leaf/grass machine is doing good, and they got it repaired, and it runs really good for about 6 to 7 hours a day. But honestly, about 2 or 3 o'clock, it starts kind of doing its thing. So I'm of the opinion that just maybe it's not made to run all day, every day. So if you wanted to get that fixed, that would be the cost of that, and then we'd have to still get new tires and then put a new bed in the box. The way I understand it's pretty getting close to being rotted out, so we have to pay somebody to put a bed. So just kind of wanted to get y'all's opinion. If you wanted to proceed, get it fixed, or no. So.
How do we let it get that far along? I mean, the upkeep on them, I know it's.
Well, that one's been parked out there for how long?
That's the old green
The
trailer
old
you're
green
talking
one.
about?
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
old green one.
Yeah.
But the new one been in the shop 3 times.
That's
I
right.
understand.
That's right.
So, we need to try to get it fixed or figure out how we can buy
that
it.
green one, new one's about 100 and what?
For one that size.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to buy a set of tires on this one once a month.
That's right.
And then they break an axle about every 2 months. I mean, how much it costs to fix it every time?
The axle is between $2,000 and $3,000, and we're on our. Since we've had it, and really in the last year we've had to put 2 axles under it.
So we spent right at $6,000-7,000 on axle.
And
Just
then the tires.
axle.
Yeah.
Altogether, probably $15,000-20,000.
I mean,
Come fall, just having one machine could be scary.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we didn't have any machines this winter. We were picking up trucks and
For 2
trailers.
months, they done it by hand.
Yeah.
So they're telling you that this 11,000 is gonna fix the green machine, the engine on the green machine?
That's right. They looked at it, and the engine isn't shot on it.
No, it wasn't
Yeah,
shot.
that's right. But once again, we still have to do tires and then get in the box some modifications.
Well, you can have Zach weld a floor in it.
That's right. That was my plan.
I mean, it was good.
Oh,
It was
and
a
it's
good
bigger.
machine.
The
It
white
just-
one is 14
what caused
yards
it
and
to,
20.
the engine go down?
That doesn't for me. I hadn't really asked that question. It's
That's
just been.
probably-
What they said is lack of service.
That's what I figured.
Not
You got to
taking
change,
care
you
of
got to
it.
blow the air filters out on them every day.
Yes.
daily.
Every day.
Yeah, we did start a maintenance program on all of our machinery out there.
We can't put, do we have the money to buy a new one?
No,
Well, we need to try to get that one fixed.
that's,
I mean, because we're gonna,
yeah, money,
fall's gonna be up on us.
with all we've got.
Well, it surprised
we've
me
got
the
to
grass
pay
is
for
so
it.
thick.
There's not a lot.
Do we have the money in the budget to fix this machine?
Probably not.
Yeah, but it's gonna be more than that, cause you still gotta fix the bed.
Yeah, that one ain't gonna be all right. It got a new
This
blower on it.
yeah, it wasn't something we had planned for, you know, at the end of last year, but I don't think it's a bad idea to have the availability to run to with our
I'm sure you
pass on that one when we go.
I mean, for 2 months, y'all had backhoes and brakes loaded up.
Don't forget the shovels.
Shovels, yeah.
Don't forget the shovels.
But that's just my opinion. I think we need to get it fixed. But
I agree. I mean, I agree 100%. That little machine's only good for sucking up grass in the summertime.
yeah, if it's not gonna run but 4 or 5 hours a day,
That's what I'm scared of.
kinda like me.
We use it much. Use it much the next 2 or 3 weeks, it'll be broke down again.
Yeah.
So, what do you wanna go ahead and, think we can come up with the money to fix that?
Figure out how much it's gonna cost to get a bed in it.
I'll get a call up there this week and see what you think. But it's up at
Something else
River.
out. Hey,
But
there's- we got some ARPA money that we could divvy around.
Is it at River Valley right now?
It is.
Just call him and ask him to measure inside the bed and call Zach and see what he could charge to put a 1/4 inch bed in it.
Okay, be happy to.
And tires.
Yeah.
Do you wanna table it for a month or do you wanna go ahead with these repairs?
I mean, you wanna get the full total price on it, we can table it till next month.
What if I made a motion to spend up to $15,000 to get it fixed? And if it's above that, then we can go from there. Otherwise, we can go ahead and get it in motion.
I second it.
Okay.
Motion from Coy to spend up to $15,000. Huh?
If we're gonna do, depending on how you're gonna pay for it, if you're gonna use ARPA money, you can't do that.
Have to
You're
have a
gonna
real
have to have,
total.
you're gonna have to have an ordinance with the total and the vendors and all that, so.
Okay.
If we're gonna use that money, now, if we're gonna try to do it with something else, then
Can we just go
you
ahead
can
and
go that way.
pay for this and then worry about getting other later?
They're definitely like
Let's
to
get
do
the
that
engine.
before we can get the, you know, bed and stuff done.
That's up to y'all.
But if we
If you
wanna
wanna
use
wait.
that federal grant money, we have to pass an ordinance before we can initiate
Yeah, I
any
forgot about
action.
Before we can initiate any action.
Yes.
Could we get those numbers and then have a
Special
special
meeting.
meeting and just come up here
If
and
y'all don't mind.
say
So
yeah?
get all your quotes together and
It
then we'll
wouldn't,
do it
it
all in
wouldn't
one.
take long to.
I mean, the way that oven is, it may break the axle tomorrow. We're
Well,
gonna wait till then.
That's what I'm scared of. I'd rather have it for a backup.
Set up a junk
If you don't want it to break tomorrow, we'll just leave it at the shop tomorrow then.
That's what, yeah, leave it sitting all you can.
I'm gonna make a motion to move forward with the engine repairs from River Valley Tractor for $11,899
But wait,
and 26 cents.
can we do that, Regina, or do we can't do any action until?
We can move forward, we just can't, we can't tell him to fix it until
Right.
we pass that ordinance.
I'll withdraw that.
So we need to get the quotes on the stuff.
So, we'll just have our special meeting.
Okay.
Just let y'all know when we find out.
We can't tell him to fix it with that ARPA money until we have the ordinance. Is that what you meant?
Right.
Okay, gotcha. If we had money in our budget otherwise, we could pass it, but,
As
okay.
long as it was over $35,000, we're good to go.
I just wanted to
As long as I can get everybody to answer the phone and really just have them out there on the bed, then I'll have a price by the end of the week.
Okay.
Can you tell me what's the rotation or the plan like for leaf and limb, or particularly limb right now, I guess is what I'm talking about for pickup? How's that rotation work in the city currently?
It's been because our chipper's broke down right now.
Yeah.
Everything's broke right
Well,
how does it, Coy's asking how the rotation
Yeah,
works.
so when I first started, we were doing wards. I didn't really like that, so we changed to doing a route, and that ain't really working that well either. So we're going back to doing wards, but I'm doing a route within each ward that I'm building currently. So, like I know Monday and Tuesday is pretty much the southwest part of town. The southeast part of town is Friday, and then Wednesday and Thursday is the northeast and northwest. I can't
It's
remember
kind of
which day.
divided by the highways.
Yeah, that's right, pretty much. Yeah. So that's how it's going.
And what's our repair date for the chipper?
Not sure. Not sure. I don't know when.
So we're
But
just what's our,
Just waiting
do
on
we
it.
have any options to get
Yeah,
any
picking
of
it up with, kinda like with leaves, just picking it up, throwing it in the trailer and hauling it off right now, just as fast as we can,
Is that happening on the same schedule?
as close as we can.
So, like, should they call you after it's been out there for 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, there's a chance that it gets missed after a week, but, I mean, if it's been out there 2 to 3 weeks, definitely call.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Y'all got anything else?
That's over on Front Street, probably need to be picked up, been out there a couple of weeks.
Really? Okay. Down there by the Dillon Bridge down there?
Yeah, on the next door.
Okay, alright. If they don't get it, that's either Wednesday or Thursday, I'll make sure it
Did
gets
you-
picked up.
You look at that hole the other day over there, you.
Yep, that's right, yeah. We're gonna get there, working our way that direction, so. I just wanna get the wastewater down south, cause we're having to pay to pump it twice, so.
Yeah.
I just trying to cut as much of that out as we can, so.
And I know Mr. Lingo, and I know you're gonna be visiting with him tomorrow. What are they saying about repairs and how, I mean, what's
Well,
their?
at this point on that one, it's probably gonna be on us. I'll be honest with you, I have no doubt, and I think I'd even seen in the records in his account on RVS that he did call like in 20 or 21, but since I've been here, that's when Regina put that together, he sent it to her, that's the first I'd seen that.
I had no idea about any of it.
Until I saw that slideshow, that's the first time I saw that
There
address.
already. But we'll find a way to get it fixed.
Well, and I guess my other concern is just other related construction issues, because I know we do have that money in reserve that they keep saying, and I feel his pain on the two, all right,
Yeah.
wait, we're gonna get fixed, we're gonna get fixed, we're gonna get fixed.
Right.
I mean, I feel his pain on that, and so I was just curious.
Well, if I had known about it, it'd been fixed in January, but I didn't, I had no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to
And
go
I'm not
with you
talking about him
tomorrow, you know.
specifically, I'm talking about
Yeah.
overall.
Well, and
I've been calling or talking to Jack probably every other week, maybe sometimes even once a week about, kinda had a dry week, maybe get somebody in here to clean up.
We've still got, was it 2 or 3 contractors' money that we're holding?
2 or 3, that's right.
3.
2, we're trying to hold it.
Yeah, let's just keep holding that money.
I am long as I can,
I got-
because we just keep finding problems.
What caused them pipes in 16, was it because of when they were boring, they bored through those lines?
So what we found on some of them are just like cleaned out lids are broken off. That could be lawnmowers and stuff like that. But we found probably 3 or 4 spots that when they bored the fiber lines in,
They bored through.
what, 18, 19, 20, somewhere in there. They, when you call locates in, the city owns sewer mains. We don't own any laterals going to any houses. That's all the public's.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know where they're at, so we can't mark them, so they just bore right through them, and if it was a water line, you're gonna know it in about 5 seconds. For a sewer line, you ain't gonna know it till they start having trouble, being backed up and stuff. Well, then, some of these, they weren't even having trouble, we just, getting so much infiltration, we've been smoking on that smoke machine y'all approved a couple months ago, and we found 16 spots so far just in the lines going into Rosemary.
Yeah.
And we're only about 2/3 of the way through that. We still have Academy, Branch, Barker, Adams, and Highway 70 right in there to do, so. We're just trying to cut down our infiltration, save electrical and pumps and stuff, just having to pump rainwater for no good reason. That's what we're finding. Well, Mayor, if you ain't got nothing for me, I'm gonna head to the ballpark at England and watch Cage play.
Well, be careful.
Yeah, alright, y'all have a good night.
Thank you.
Y'all have a good one.
Police Department, Chief Matt Edwards.
Good evening, everyone. I don't have a whole lot. First, you get my report. We responded to 156 complaints or dispatched calls. Made a few arrests this past month, served a few warrants, and list on the back is the area of the citations issued in each ward. Anybody any questions about my report or anything else that you may have concerns on? right, well, I thank y'all and y'all have a good rest of the month.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Old business, our satellite production. Oh, okay. That's what we've saved so far.
Saved so far.
Huh?
You said satellite.
Yeah,
Or I mean,
solar.
I'm sorry.
Long day.
It has been a long day.
Well, Thomas sent me a message today and he said, do you know what we're projected to save through the rest of the year by month? And I said, no. I said, but I can tell you this, if the sun is shining,
We're
we're
doing good.
making money.
Yeah.
Or we're making
Starting,
credit.
it'll just keep going up for
Yes.
the next 2 or 3 months.
But
You'll have to
y'all
do a
had
lot of-
asked what
It's
the
gonna have to go
dollar
up a
amount was,
bunch.
and that's what it is.
Yeah,
so
we
far.
had-
Well, that's all
Pretty
people
close.
care
Ridiculous.
about.
We
They don't care
understand
about
that.
kilowatts.
When it costing us about 13,000 a month, that 7,000 will look too good.
Well, the deal is, the 13,000 paid for all the heating and air units and all these other things
Yeah,
too.
but it's on the 20-year lease we got to pay for.
I get to both.
Well, that's, we'll wait and see how it does in 2 or 3 months when we're doing the best.
Yeah.
All been good today.
I hate to ask a dumb question. How did you come up with those numbers on estimated savings?
It's
That's
a
how many
0.086
kilowatts it produced.
Okay.
They gave me a factor to
Okay.
use in an email after the meeting.
Is there any way we could get those numbers on the month? Cause I was trying to read the graph and going, so what does this mean? You know?
Same thing.
What we did last month, Coy.
Yeah, I see we're up and down, but I do like seeing those estimated savings, even if we were able to see
Well, I
those
just
from
added
month
that
month.
to my slide after he gave me those numbers, so.
I got you.
I will put them on there.
And I don't
every
mind
month.
seeing it here, but I do, cause I'm looking at this.
They send me this report, and I can't change it the way
Right,
it is,
sure.
so I just added it on.
Yeah.
I knew I met our new energy lady at the chamber the other day. I got her card, but she was telling me they was, I don't know if they've been working with them, trying to get us,
Is it Katrina Brown?
I can't remember. I'm old, I can't remember. That was last week.
Good luck getting her.
New business.
That was our other thing.
Get that on.
We make a motion to table that.
We don't have it.
I would ask that we table that one because I needed a little bit more time to create the ordinance, to be honest, and I wanted to ask some questions of whomever to figure out what those rate increases should be. So I'll have something ready for y'all next month. That's all right.
Or we can do our special, we're gonna have a special meeting.
Yeah, we had some questions though. Thomas kind of sent out some stuff with his recommendations, and y'all really need to weigh in on it before she writes this. Or you won't have to make a bunch of changes after she gets it all written.
What's the?
Well, actually, I don't know that he sent it to everybody. He sent it to you and I. I'll just read the email to us that he sent on April 12th. If we're building an ordinance on charging $2 for dumping trash out here, a couple of things we might want to add are all people that dump have to have proof of residency in the city. Truckloads are the only thing that dump for free. We need to have some sort of rate schedule for charging for different size trailer loads. And then he had a suggested trailer size, 10 foot, 11 foot, 11 to 16 foot, and 17 plus foot. And listing materials we can't take, like chemicals, building materials that could have come in contact with asbestos, wet paint cans, tires, and anything else he may be missing. And then later on, Regina added some thoughts as well.
There's a lot to it. It's a big can of worms. I mean, that's why the weight thing,
So, as far as the proof of residency in the city, let's start with that. Do we agree that they need to be city residents to be able to dump?
Oh, yeah,
there? Okay,
absolutely.
kind of thought so. So as far as proof of residency, Regina suggested a water bill with proof of identity, but, sometimes that's not necessarily in that person's name.
You know what the county does? They give you, if you're out in the county, they give you a card. If you have that card,
Yeah, you're
you
good.
can go and dump out there now. I mean, that's not gonna fix everything, but that would be something we could do. We could send our citizens in with the water bill or whatever, a card that they could use if they needed to do.
As long as they don't pass it out to everybody.
Well, I mean, that's where somebody out there is, are you gonna police it for us?
I'm out of that.
I mean, there's not gonna be 100% way to stop.
Right. I mean, you know, driver's license might be a way, water bill, you know, just some sort of proof of residency, and I guess if there's a question about it, then that would be something the person managing
You
the dump
live
would have
here
to
and
deal
you
with it.
haven't changed your driver's license though, then you're, you know.
Why couldn't you just take a water bill out there, be done with it?
I'm gonna have
Well, because if you rent and your tenant, your landlord pays your water bill.
Right. So you end up with some of those
Yeah.
weird things that I think if we mailed them something with their, well, you
I
could give it to your tenant if you had one like
I
that.
may move my office
My
out
tenants
there.
just
I
leave
know-
their crap anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
I think we just need to table it, think about it.
So I guess we'll try to come up with something, and then if you guys have some ideas on that
Yeah,
you can see
I'll
where,
call you.
yeah, you can see where we're trying to
Yeah.
pin down the best way of proving residency,
Okay.
without creating too much of a burden on either the citizens to prove residency or the people at the dump to figure it out. Let's see, truckloads are the only, his second point, truckloads are the only thing that dump for free. That's a good question. Regina said there wasn't a limit discussed on the front end when the questionnaire was done, only charging additional fees for commercial customers to dump.
Right.
So what did you think he meant by that? Like trucks, like dump trucks, or like
No,
just
it's-
pickup trucks, or what?
I didn't get an answer on that. I don't
I mean,
know
that's gonna
where
be
he
hard to
was
say,
going
cause
with
somebody
it.
may be cleaning out a house and
Well,
if
that's,
they're a resident here
right.
and they own property here, you can't, I mean, how you gonna charge them more?
But is it a business or is it?
Well, if it's
If
not a
rental
business,
property,
Yeah, if you're
that's
cleaning out
not,
rental properties and you're doing it every 2 or 3
well,
months, you
business,
can't
right.
do that.
You know, and Sean
But
said
if I
that.
clean out my shed in my backyard and it takes my truck and trailer, I ain't gonna pay you no more.
Right.
Oh, well, we'll have to just
Well,
send the
you
police down there.
got a little gray there, so I didn't know what he was saying.
Well, we'll figure out.
There is some stuff to weigh out
Sure.
there.
The next point, we need to have some sort of rate schedule for charging for different size trailer loads. Regina's point, yes, rate schedule for all commercial accounts, but what if a citizen brings a mattress, some other allowed items on a 10-foot trailer?
On a trailer. We're gonna charge them because they put it on a trailer? I don't think so. I mean,
Right, so so the instructions I had were adding $2 on the
Right.
bill, period. But I can see where Thomas is trying to add a separate rate schedule if it were something more than just, you know, somebody with a pickup truck full of whatever.
It's gonna mainly affect businesses
Right.
and people's rental property,
Right.
which is business.
So his point was, I believe that, you know, if they're hauling a trailer, that's more likely to be some sort of commercial ongoing something or other, maybe. I don't know, maybe we should have some sort of rate schedule based on the size of that trailer. So how do y'all feel about that?
Say that again, Ginger.
He was trying to put some sort of limit on it, you know, if we just have a flat $2 per water bill, okay, but then, you know, if people are coming in with large trailers, 10-foot, 11 to 16-foot, or 17-foot, were his categories of trailers, then that could be way more than what we were anticipating just at the
Well, they
$2
know-
per water bill.
Well, most of them's been hauling out there for years and they know about what they owe, usually.
Right, but
'Cause
what
it's-
does my ordinance need to say specifically
Well,
about that?
I'll have to ask Vonda and see, cause it's pretty close. What,
I don't think I understand what you're saying. So we already
Well,
have
like-
kind of a schedule of that?
no, I think,
Used to, Knox would bring out a trailer load, or Simpson would bring out a trailer, we charge them $100 for the trailer load. You know, that's what we used to charge them.
yeah,
And, I mean, you're gonna
I'll
have to,
check with her and see
so
what.
it didn't matter what size the trailer was?
both of them were always just a normal dump trailer, the same size. We never really had no great big trailers or.
No.
Right. But, you know, I think Thomas has a good point here to maybe,
Yes.
Let
you
me,
know, 4-wheeler trailer's one thing, a 17-foot trailer's a different thing on.
let me
on what it-
research that tomorrow and I'll holler at you.
Okay. His last point, of course, materials we can't take. I'll get a good comprehensive list of that, because that's definitely something that needs to be in there too. So, yeah, I think just our scheme here is good. We just need to figure out what the details are on it a little bit better than just, I think just the $2 per water bill was not necessarily all that we meant to do, or at least all he meant to do, so.
I say table it and let Jerry do some more research. That's new research.
I don't know how you would put a fixed price on a trailer full.
Well, here was Thomas's response on that. If it's a 10 or less trailer, probably should just let them dump for free because it's essentially the size of a truck bed. But if it's 11 to 16 foot, maybe that's $100. If it's 17 or bigger, maybe $200. Those are just his ideas on prices. I thought those were pretty reasonable figures given a 17-foot trailer could hold a whole lot more than a truck bed could.
Sure.
Does that sound like the guidance you want me to use to draft this in?
I mean, it makes sense if everybody's thinking exactly the same way I do. But like I said, if I have a Tahoe and I've got a 14-foot trailer and I got a king-size mattress, and I throw a king-size mattress on the back of my 14-foot trailer,
shouldn't cost
and
you
I drop it in,
$100.
I take it, pull it up there in my Tahoe, because that's the only thing that I have. I don't think it should cost me $100 to drop a king-size mattress off.
I think I could fix that.
But you know, the problem is common sense isn't common anymore, so.
That was my point when I responded to him the first
Right, I think maybe I could fix that by just saying, 10 to 16-foot trailer or equivalent. To where if you just happen to have a big old trailer but a little bitty mattress on it, then maybe we're not really charging you anything at all. Because it's considered.
And they're not taking building materials, right? Like if somebody tears the front porch off their house.
Same way it's always been.
Spring, it's just like spring cleanup rules.
Which is what?
No building materials.
Okay.
Like somebody rips carpet out of their house, we taking carpet?
Yeah,
I don't know if that's a question for y'all.
carpet.
What she just asked, what's your guidance on that? Like somebody rips carpet out of
They
their
took
house?
it before. I mean, they did before.
Yeah, we've always done that.
So there's certain things you can and certain things you can't.
I wouldn't do roofing.
Sounds to me like
Yeah,
we
you
need to
can't
know what
take
those
roofing.
things are.
You don't take shingles, you don't take paint, you don't take
Bricks.
lumber.
Okay. I'll work on a list of stuff and I may talk with the mayor about that.
Well, and she's got a list out there that
Good.
we always went by.
Perfect.
So we have to go by certain stuff because that's what the waste people
Right.
want.
Some things they tell us not to take.
Permitting process for their disposal.
Right.
Right. Hey, sitting back there, Wayne, do you have anything to add to this on what other?
I have a list if you like.
Okay. Do you have a suggestion on what other people do in similar situations?
Well, this is a convenience center, so you're doing a small charge so that citizens can bring it in. It's not for business, I wouldn't think, that's y'all's call, of course. And, commercial would be a higher rate, because if they went to the landfill, if they drive through the gates, it's $60. And that's if it's in the back of a Tahoe. That's a minimum charge. For what they would bring, they're probably gonna pay $100, $150 and go through mud. Dump it. So I would make it, it's a great idea for the citizens.
So this fee structure we just mentioned of maybe 100 for 11 to 16 foot trailer and a 200 for a 17 or more, do you think that's
150,
reasonable in the
something like
industry?
that, I think is very fair, because they would pay that driving 25 miles down the road that easy.
Thank you.
Let me ask, they said no paint. Now, back in the cleanup, you could if you.
Well, it said wet paint.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you
that's
put
wet
cat
paint.
litter in there.
Cat litter or dirt in it,
It
yes.
said no paint.
Well, wet paint is what he meant. If I didn't read wet, that's
Yeah.
what he put
And
in there.
that's what, you put cat litter or sand.
Pass a filter.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank y'all for the guidance on it. I will work on that for either the next regular meeting or the next special meeting.
I need
Thank y'all.
approval to pay bills.
So moved.
Second.
Troy to pay the bill, second by Jim Ed. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Now, announcements. City Hall will be closed Monday, May 29th for observance of Memorial Day.
And that planning commission thing is not correct. It was the wrong day and they're not having it.
No. So that's,
Yeah. They didn't have any business.
now I
didn't
need
find
a
out
motion
till
to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Troy, voted to adjourn, second by Jim Ed. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you very much. Turn your
City.